Hello again. Rather than doing any weaving, today I'm painting. Decided to do something three-dimensional or two-dimensional today. So it's raining outside, which I love. I love a good rainstorm, especially when you can just hear it hitting the roof. It's nice. So I come to you today stressed out, as always. So last summer I applied to disability because I have enough work credits to qualify me, and I have enough chronic diagnoses. I have enough things wrong with me that I qualify. However, I got denied last summer, and then I was pregnant and, of course, struggling to exist with a pregnancy in Florida in the summertime. So I kind of gave up after I got denied. And so now I've been doing a little bit more research and pulling my paperwork together to really try to have my poop in a group this time. And then I do more research and find out that if you have more than X amount of dollars available to you in savings, whatever, you're going to get denied. And it's not a high number. It's what some would say is a low number. But you cannot have more than that, or they will pull your benefit. Or I think somebody said that you would have to pay them back, the government. So this whole system, they want you to not save any money. They want you to just be dependent on them for the rest of your life because you're disabled. And I cannot imagine how a government can pride itself on holding people captive and not allowing people to live their best lives, even when disabled. So me, disabled. My husband, not disabled. But life is not cheap. And we live in Florida. We rent. We have a roommate. Roommate will be moving out when our lease is up, and so we have to move into a smaller place because we won't have roommates' money, rent payment to help us stay in this place. And my concern is we're going to have to downsize big time to where there's not going to be a space for my hobbies, desk and stuff. So I'm just concerned for quality of life, and hobbies and streaming. I know it's a little early for me to be worrying about that, but the former store manager in me always had to plan for the future. Always had to be thinking about stuff many steps ahead. So it's still in me. I'm still that person. So I feel kind of at a loss because, I need a surgical procedure, and my out-of-pocket could be a few $1,000s that I don't have. And, the savings that I had is being used up to pay the bills that I have, because I have my own bills, so I don't make my husband pay my bills. And so I just kind of feel at a loss, like there's nothing I can do. And I haven't been feeling very well lately. I've been getting migraines almost every day to varying severity. Some days I can function with it. Some days I have to take my rescue meds in order to function with it. And I had a day in March where my husband had to stay home from work to take care of the baby and the dog, so that way I could pretty much be in bed all day. And I'm grateful that my husband has the job that he does to where he can take the time off without penalty, with limited penalty, without penalty. And he, had to take a day off this week for me to go to my doctor's appointments and not have to worry about bringing my kid. And he's able to work from home a little bit. But I don't know, man. I just feel so stressed, anxious, nervous because, I'm trying to massage and do Reiki out of the house when I can. On weekends when my husband's home to watch the baby. But, I haven't been feeling good lately. And I already had to push my client that I had last Saturday back to this Saturday. And I don't even know how this Saturday I'm going to feel. And that's hard. And I'm having a really hard time accepting the word, saying I'm disabled. Yes, I applied for disability. Yes, I, have chronic conditions that qualify me. But just something about using that word disabled, I feel like I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. I'm not deserving because, my brain wants to say, well, there's people worse off than you. And while rationally I know that that's an unfair thing to say and an unfair thing to, think, my rational brain isn't always the one that's in control, especially as a person with mental health struggles. And even right now, my OCD agoraphobia makes it so I can't leave the house. So I'm not living, I'm just existing. Not sleeping very well, migraines every day, my body hurts. Yesterday I was putting my son down for a nap, and I put a little stool next to the crib. So I just sit there and I talk to him and I rub his belly and, just kind of zone out till he falls asleep. And I was standing up to leave the room so I could go work on art. And my knees cracked and I woke him up. And he did not get back to sleep for a nap. I don't want my health and my mental health to impact my son's life in a negative way. I don't want it to impact my life in a negative way, but we're already there. So I don't know. It's just hard. It's just hard. And, I want to have the energy to stream on weeknights after my husband gets home, but I'm usually so cooked from taking care of my baby all day that I just don't have the energy. Plus, I'm not sleeping the best at nighttime. He had me up for a couple hours last night, had my husband up for a couple hours last night. It's just this vicious revolving cycle, and I just feel like I'm stuck. And then I was in somebody's stream yesterday as a viewer and talking about art and my art, and they looked at my Etsy page and were telling me that my prices are too low. And they were like, you need to value yourself and your time and effort and energy better than this, because, this is saying, if you sell your art locally, this is just saying this is what original art costs in my mind. And it's undervaluing not only yourself but other local artists. So it was kind of an eye-opening perspective coming from this person who is a artist and sells their work, a Twitch partner actually. So I kind of took it to heart to try to not undervalue the stuff that I make. But that's also a hard thing. It's just hard. It's just hard. And I feel lonely. And I don't like being dependent on other people. I really don't like being dependent on my husband. That's my cat. His name's Bayorn. But that's all I got. So, hope you're having a good day. Bye.